G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories, including past experiences, and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. On today's episode, we have Dan and Nat from Boaring Australia. How you going?
Hey, Zach, how you going, mate?
Good, thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
No, welcome. As soon as Patrick mentioned you guys and recommended you guys come on, that was my next message. As soon as I woke up the next day, I followed and messaged you guys and hit you up. So it's a couple of weeks in the making and we're here.
Yeah, that's good, mate. Yeah. The ARU's doing a good thing for everyone. Everybody out in front foot.
They are. They're doing an amazing job and they've got an amazing team and some awesome people doing some work with them, like Simon from Full Drive TV, you guys, Carly from No More National Parks. So,
yep. That's great, mate. Good to see. I think this next election is very important for all our futures, like as far as freedom-wise for the whole country.
Oh, 100%.
And just our kids in the future, if this doesn't go well, I just worry for our kids, to be honest.
Oh, it's a crazy state we're in at the moment, that's for sure. It's like my TikTok scrolling through it this past week is just heaps of videos of all these, blue-haired people going, don't vote Labor, don't vote Liberal, vote Greens, and then giving a huge speech. And it's like every second video is like almost a paid advertisement from them. So they're pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah, no, and sadly that's what they do is, pay university students, that are, cheap labour and just getting them. And you would probably look at it like I was probably, much the same, where I didn't really care too much or didn't know too much about politics. And, I suppose they're getting the people that don't know about it and don't know where to vote. And so they are getting the majority of people that don't understand it, to sway their way.
Oh, that's it. Our system's that freaking complicated. I hated everything to do with politics, and I've said it on this podcast 1,000 times. And it wasn't until the bow hunting ban was proposed is when I've started, going, hey, maybe I should learn a bit more about politics, and started writing to MPs, and had a meeting with an MP, and it's just absolutely ridiculous, but so hard to get your mind around how it all freaking works.
That's it. People like us have got no time for that system and all the different hoops that you got to jump through. Like, there's no way I could sit in Canberra and be a politician. I don't know how Bob Catter does it. Like, he's like the whole Catter Australia party. They've got a great team, and I don't know how they wade through that sort of mess down there. But they do a good job of representing sort of normal people, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and
sorry.
I suppose that's why we need to be behind, Australian Recreational Union and people that are willing to do the boring stuff for us, really, and not wait till actually something bad happens. We need to be, proactive, do and get behind them before things do go too bad, and then we have to try and work harder to try and get it back.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like it's a fine line between being proactive and reactive. Like, a lot of the times we're very reactive, but you also don't want to be too proactive as well, because you don't want to jump on stuff before it hits the media, because then we just look like a bunch of whining idiots. It's hard, and a lot of misinformation gets spread that way. And we had the same thing here with the bow hunting thing. It's just like, why is no one talking about this yet? It's like, well, it hasn't been announced yet. It's just rumors that are going through the rumor mill. So it's such a hard, difficult thing to go around. But I reckon we'll jump away from the politics and get into the interesting side of things. Introduce yourselves. What do you guys do? Where are you guys from? And how long have you guys been doing it?
Yeah, so I'm Dan, obviously, and we're sort of in most of the year, you could say we're nearly full-time hunting. And, we're just sort of every year we have the wet season off. Like I generally go back to working in the mines and, make some good money again. And then we just go travelling and working around on stations or go up the Gulf or Territory or...
In saying that we're full-time hunting, we actually still have a day job throughout the day. Like Dan still works, 5 to 6 days a week. And, we hunt as every opportunity we get, more or less, But, we still have... unfortunately, we can't hunt full-time, which would be amazing. But, we still have to have our day-to-day jobs. And
my job on the stations and that allows me to sort of, because I'm the foreman and caretaker and sort of boilermaker on the place, so we can just go and do our own thing really, as long as we keep the water up to everything.
Yeah, and his job basically is to drive around, managing pests as well, because they're getting into the waterways, fouling up the waters, troughs, making it hard for the cattle, and same with, digging up pipes as well. You get that a lot in the dry season. So, his job literally is to, also, look after the waters, but also, hunt, manage the pests as well. So it's, probably the best job you can get, I reckon.
That's awesome.
People like that anyway, yeah.
So you guys make content to do with hunting. I haven't got around to watching videos yet. Like I said, pretty time poor at the moment. But it's in the name. You guys hunt pigs. What's your main method of hunting pigs? And what are the different ways you do hunt them? Yeah,
so we've got sort of we've got all sort of bases covered. We've got a team of dogs. We shoot. We've got thermal gear.
I use drones to make
we use drones. I've been doing a bit out of the chopper, like here and there. I don't shoot out of the chopper all the time, but I've just started probably in the last sort of 6 to 12 months, sort of shooting a bit out of the chopper as well. So
that was a fairly big process to get that.
That's been a big ordeal. Just get tickets and just get trained up so I can legally do it.
So what type of tickets do you have to do that? Because, yes, it's completely different what you're doing to the helicopter culling down here with deer and brumbies and all of that type of stuff. But what are the actual processes that actually go involved to be able to, shoot from a helicopter?
In saying that too, I'm pretty sure it would be the same. What Dan has to go through is exactly the same scenario as if with the people that shoot the brumbies and everything. Like it's Australia wide.
Yeah, just an aerial platform ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to, I think it's like a couple different modules where you have to have shooting.
Yeah, it's just your safety and discharging a rifle out of a helicopter, and it's just you go through all that safety bit, but that's a very small part of what we do. Like I'd say our main thing is our team of dogs and just
and rifles. Yeah.
And rifles mainly.
That's awesome. As we discussed, dog hunting can be a pretty hot topic at times. Like I said to you guys, I haven't done much of it. The only time I've been pig dogging was in New Zealand, and they are absolutely insane with how they do it. Just the forests and the rainforest type scenarios they go through, and you're going up the side of a freaking massive great hill, and they're bloody insane. What are some of the common misconceptions about dog hunting here in Australia?
Well, to be honest, I think I've been hunting for 25 years. I sort of started when I was a real young fella, and Nat. Me and Nat sort of first met in 2008 and started going hunting together and then. But, so once we sort of got a direction we wanted to go, we flipped a coin whether we were going to start making our YouTube and going right down the filming road, just because we were just sick of the stereotypes of all pig hunters being bogans, really.
Yep.
And dogs, people think it's cruel. It's not.
It's a whole. You've got to have your team of dogs. Is like I say, it's much like having a football team. They've got to be fit, strong, smart. They've got to work together. They've got to be good at home.
They've got to know the rules. What they can and can't do.
and that starts from when they're a young pup. Like it's what would you say, 10 month. We don't start any sort of our working dogs until they can jump on the ute and
run with the other dogs,
because there's too much chance when they're little. They're too much chance of injuries, or if they get a fright, or it's real bad if they get a fright when they're younger. And so we don't start till their teeth set and they can sort of jump on the ute, really. And that's generally a good indication of maturity. And that's a 12-month investment most of the time to get them going, really.
How many dogs are you guys running?
We've got 4 working dogs at the moment, and we've got our old dog Rocco, who's in all our videos on YouTube, and he is 12. Maybe, I think he's a bit roughly 12, and we retired him last year, so he's had a full-on pigging career. He's been an excellent dog, and I think he got injured once in that whole career where he was sort of sidelined for a bit, and that's why he's real smart bugger, he's a big old wolfhound.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, most dogs, don't get mauled by the pig and aren't mauling the pig. They're trained to hang on to the ear, which is cartilage. Yeah. So, and the cartilage, actually, as you would know, with your own human ear, doesn't have many nerve endings. So it's not, the pig doesn't feel it,
Yeah.
And that's why the dogs are trained to only hang on the ears and, hold, or you have dogs that just bark and will bay them up, which we have, one dog that does that, Jed. And so I think that's the whole, just we more wanted to get into, the filming side of it to show that, it can be done humanely, with dogs, and it can be done as a family, and we're not all bogans, like it's sort of, changing the stigma that, I don't know, like sort of, everyone, I feel like, since videoing of, goes around, has come into play, like a lot of people, want to get a $30,000 buggy to go chase them, like it's not just, every bogan does, like, everyone's, spending money, investing money and wanting to do things, correctly and, have nice gear and, it is, I suppose changing the image a lot too. And, for me too, I suppose is, that women don't go hunting in bikinis.
Women can, like Nat's as capable as any man I've ever seen, especially, Nat's got the best eyes on a human. Actually, there's only one person I've ever seen with better eyes, and he was a black fella up at Robinson River. And he was amazing. His name was Ronald, and he was in one of our videos on YouTube. And but other than him, Nat's got really good eyes, and that's how and Nat can see things I can't. That's for sure. And that's a big deal when you're sort of doing the sort of style of hunting we do, because we're always on the move. Cover a lot of country, and
that's awesome. When it comes to laws of pig dogging, you see like a lot of different comments, especially when videos are going around. There's a case recently of a WA hunter. Don't know the specifics in that, but people like, the dogs can't grab the pig, all of that. What's the actual laws when it comes to like RSPCA type animal cruelty laws and that?
Yeah. Okay, so that's an easy one. So we're really into the Australian Pig Dog and Hunting Association.
Yeah, they literally have a guidelines policy on their website. And I think it says, and we've always sort of played the same rule of thumb is, pigs have 2 ears, 1 dog each ear. But then, and so that's basically the rule of thumb, 2 dogs. But then if you've got a pup in training, you're allowed to have, as long as it's, 2 more people, I think it is. Yeah, you're allowed 1 dog per person, and then another pup in training. So
and basically, if you got hanging dogs, there's nothing worse than seeing someone stand around, film them while the pig's getting chewed. For one, your dogs are getting hot. Yep. You could get injured. The pig is extra suffering. It doesn't need it. So, like, as soon as it's safe to do so, like you'll see in our videos, I cannot stand standing around. I want to be in there helping me dogs, and same as that. And the whole community is getting a lot better with it. Like, so as soon as it's safe to do so, like as soon as that pig turns and not looking at me, I just run in, grab him, and then stick him in the heart or shoot him in the head with the 22. It's
whatever.
yeah. And that pig's dead within
Seconds.
15 seconds. That pig is like, it's no life. It's like, it's very humane. That heart stab. It's over. It just drops them.
It'd probably be similar to what an arrow shot would be.
Oh, it's very similar.
Yeah.
And you know how lethal an arrow is. It's like there's nothing. It's more lethal than a bullet sometimes, I think.
Yeah, 100%. They kill different. So, what's the main determining factor when you are using a firearm compared to using the knives?
Okay, so I've got my preferred rifle when we're running around with the dogs is a little short 22 Magnum, and if I'm
how many inch barrel is that?
So I've got it short as legal, and I think it's 750 overall length, which is
isn't it 16 inches or something?
Yeah, 16-inch barrel roughly, and but overall length it's as short as possible. It's just I've got it on my back and everywhere I go, and that's for our safety and for the dog's safety, because like the amount of hunting and situations you get into, it's always good to have that rifle. But so like for the first sort of example we've got a baler, and his name's Jed. He's in all our movies, like on Rumble and YouTube, and he's a real smart buggy. He doesn't put too much pressure on the pigs, but he'll get in their face and come off. And with a good bailing dog, you want pressure on, pressure off. And because if you got a dog that's got too much pressure, then they'll keep running. But this fella, he's very clever. He'll get in their face enough to sort of pull them up. And as soon as he sees me lift that rifle, he just you'll see him watch me. He just sort of goes, I just got to yell at him. And he'll just go and sort of move away, and they'll just bang, shoot the pig straight in the ear hole, instant death. And the other option would be is if I'm working the dogs and I want to run them on, which said people that don't know, I train the dogs to be able to get multiple pigs out of a mob. So I'll run up, grab a pig by the back leg, and put the rifle right in the pig's ear. Bang, instant death.
Point blank.
Point blank.
So there's no noise.
And with the 22 Magnum, you've got no chance of a pass through. And obviously you don't. You
angle it.
Yeah, angle it away from the dog or whatever. And then when that dog hears a gunshot, he'll let go, and then he'll run on and get another one. Yeah, like we've got a dog, Chansey, I think. Oh, is that on YouTube? No, Rumble. Yeah, if anyone's interested in sort of seeing what I'm talking about, if they go to our Rumble channel, I've got a video where one of our main dogs, Chansey, he gets 6 pigs out of one mob. And that's just one dog, and that's just me on the quad just keeping up with him, and I'll just grab the pig, bang, just keep going. He gets 6 really good pigs out of a mob.
Yeah, and then we point up with them. He gets a bit tired, so you also
and then you've got to manage their heat, obviously. As long as they're fit and strong enough to do it, you sort of that is all about managing the dog as well.
Yeah, it's not a numbers game. It's just whatever.
Yeah, whatever the dog's capable of, and as long as they're not hot, and if they can keep doing it, they want to do it, So,
what's the determining factor there when they get too hot? How are you judging that? And
it's just their
breathing,
just their breathing, so their tongue being out, they're just their whole actions. You can tell the second the dog's getting too hot, because they're just But these fellas, they're their cognitive function. It'll you can tell the second the dog's getting too hot, and
they're more so when you kill a pig, they'll walk around in circles because they don't know what's going on. They're disorientated. Yeah, other than being hot. So then that's when you know to put them away. They don't.
But the dog will do it himself. As soon as you kill that pig, he's gone. Yeah. He'll just run on and get pulled on, Yeah,
it's amazing the stories that we've heard from friends from how dogs have been injured in the past, and the adrenaline kicks in and they feel nothing and they keep going. You do have to stop a dog a lot. And that's where I suppose the hunting with dogs becomes so addictive, is because you have such a connection with your dog. That dog, and it knows you, and you know, to the point with our dogs, you know, we can touch the accelerator, and as soon as we put the foot down, they know that we've seen a pig and they start bellowing. They haven't even seen the pig yet. But it's having that connection too with the dogs too, like, and then that's what it becomes addictive, is having that, you know, everyone's, you know, it's in our DNA, hunting with animals. And yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's for us, it's not about, you know, we don't care about the killing side. It's being out hunting, connecting with nature, learning how what an animal does and how it hunts, and you know, and then using you know, that connection with our dogs to hunt that animal too, and you know, training that dog to, you know, work the way you want. Yeah,
they become part of the family. Like, it's, you have these dogs, like a Rocco, the 12 years of our life we have with our oldest dog. It's a big part of your life, you know. Like, he's retired out in Nat's mum's place, but
yeah, he's living like a king.
yeah, he's fat and he's just a mess, but he's real happy, you know. Like, he'd be the first dog to jump on the ute if we were go around there, you know. He just hates being left behind. Like, but it's, yeah, he's just old and past it, you know. I just hate seeing him sort of like being slow and worn out, sort of thing. So
Yeah,
it's you feel sad for him sitting in the yard. You're like, and seeing all, you know, all the people in town having working dogs that, you know, just go crazy sitting in the yard. And we feel bad for our dogs sitting in the yard. It's an animal's primal instinct is to hunt.
100%.
You know? Yeah. And I think it's in our primal instinct to hunt as well.
Yeah, well, it's one of the most natural feelings when you're out there hunting, no matter what form of hunting or fishing you're doing. You know, I was hearing very similar stories about you know, guys that hunt with pig dogs up in New South Wales when I was up there recently, up at Cody's, and you know, the stories of those guys that they were telling me, you know, just like taking a last dog on his last run, like an old dog on his last run, you know, just so he could be a part of it before they, you know, had to put him down because of old age. And you know, the dog's getting that excited that they're busting through the dog boxes and bending the boxes just to get out because they're so excited to get out, which is just awesome. You know, they love it just as much as us. And you know, you hear the same type of thing from guys that hunt birds with dogs and guys that, you know, chase deer with dogs. You know, it's just that whole camaraderie thing that the connection that you build. I've never really hunted with dogs. I did that one time in New Zealand chasing pigs, and last year I got to go out and hunt behind a white hair pointer, and it's just awesome just to see how in tune their instincts are and compared to us. So
that's right. Well, we've like, because we work with Pulsar, like they sort of sponsor us and look after us real well with the TSA guys, and but as good as that technology is in the real thick country, a good dog is still better than any thermal. Like, it's, yeah, like we've got one of our dogs, Gidgey, like he's got a real good nose and he still can beat the thermal at times, like in thick grass and long grass. Like, you won't see the pigs. Like, he'll be just gone. He'll just jump off straight into the breeze and, you know, go and catch the pig. Buddy.
That's awesome. Yeah, thermal's another big controversial way of hunting. You know, I hadn't had anything to do with it up until I was in New South Wales the other day. Cody Gearon's got a sponsor with a thermal company, and yeah, we got to play with his monocular, and god damn, it's a game changer. You know, like you hear people go, "Oh, that's not hunting, that's cheating." But heck, it allows you to avoid, you know, all the untargeted animals that you want. You know, like I was picking up kangaroos before they seen you, which is just awesome when you're bow hunting, and you know, you can spot so much more. It's amazing.
Oh, it's effective. Like, because we shoot roos for our secondary job as well, as like a, you know, just supplement income, and especially when the grass is long. What would you reckon? We'd probably get another 10 or 15 a night roos, maybe, I reckon, just from having the thermal gear.
That's crazy.
Not to mention, like, we were so surprised about how many roos were right beside the car, because you get your wallaroos that are so quiet and they'll just be still crouched down in the long grass, only 10, 15 metres away from you, and you're driving past and they won't even look up to see you. And, you know, with a spotlight, you wouldn't have never have seen them. Like there were so many close to us that, and obviously the far ones, but yeah, you find so many more with the thermal. Like you're wasting your money if you don't have one.
Yeah.
You know,
The spotlighting is finished. Other than like for looking for roos, I don't even waste my time. I haven't used the spotlighter unless I use the spotlight to shoot. But yeah, for looking around, it's just a total waste of time compared to a thermal now. Like the technology leap in the last year, especially with pulsar, and it's amazing. You can literally see from kilometres.
Yeah, you can, and not to mention, like, you know, if you are targeting, you know, a bigger boar or bigger buck, you can see which one it is that you want. And not, you know, how many times have you, you know, shot one, you're like, oh, and you see another one off and you're like, oh man, I wish I had seen that one. Or now you can with thermal, you know, and the detail in them is insane.
Yeah, I was blown away. Like even, you know, we went for a spotlight when I was up at Cody's, and just, you know, finding the foxes, and then once you shoot them, you know, we did the in the dark fox shooting competition about a month ago down here, and we shot a few foxes and a few cats, and just couldn't recover them because we couldn't find them in the long dry grass.
Yeah.
And then, you know, going out with Cody, having the little monocular there, after you shoot them, you can find them again easy as just from the heat signature in the grass. It was just an absolute game changer for just even recovery when you're out spotlighting.
Well, that's the same with the roos. You would not believe how much, because like you just say before thermal, I'd shoot 3 or 4 out of a mob, and then you've got to like leave the headlights, and then you got to put the spotlight on one where you shot that, and then you've just sort of got to have your car set up where your lights are pointing to where you shoot them, and then you go out and you put a light on that one so you can go and find them. Because we're talking about shooting grass that's like, you know, be a metre high and very hard to judge distance and sort of find them over night time. But now with thermal, it's just, yeah, you can still see them from sort of 200 metres away, no worries at all.
That's awesome. You know, you've obviously played with thermal quite a bit. What do you recommend for people getting into thermal, like monocular wise or scope or?
So I've always been told like the poor man pays twice, and like I've done it 100 times. Bloody yeah, I wouldn't waste your money on anything that's Chinese, like, because we've swapped over to pulsar, and it's just it's the next level, and like the image quality it's right up there. But what they've got really going for them is the Wi-Fi. Because like we Wi-Fi to a tablet in our car, and there's no lag. It's just never had any issues with lag or bloody. Yeah, just and it's just quality. Like they are more expensive, but they just work.
But yeah, in saying that too, like I don't know, I feel like a handheld monocular would be probably like, you know, would be the best, because when we first started out, that's what we were doing, because, you know, we didn't want to dedicate a whole rifle to night vision only. So, you know, and the biggest thing is, like, you know, you have light these days and headlamps that you've got your red filters on. So a lot of our early experience was, you know, you could see the pigs, and then it was the whole adrenaline rush to sneak in within 100 metres, you know, and looking through the scope and looking down and sneaking up to where you could get in with, you know, lights range, and then obviously take the shot that way. And but I feel like, you know, that would probably be your best, because you can, you know, you can take that, obviously, you know, hunt it and put it on a car with like a bracket so you can drive around, or, you know, say you wanted to walk a dam or a creek, you can hold it in your hand and then obviously get close. So I reckon the handheld monocular would probably be
definitely,
the best.
It's definitely the best way to start.
Yeah.
And then because we've got a monocular. What's the monocular? It's
a Tellus XP.
Tellus XP50 we're running for what goes on our spotlight, or if we're sneaking around.
But it's the first thermal monocular, I think, on the market that's fully upgradable. So that's the whole reason why we say, you know, don't, you know, poor man pays twice, is with this one, say the lenses or, the processor gets upgraded, then, you literally can send it away and just get those parts replaced.
Yeah, as technology improves, you don't have to fork out again. You can just do the upgrades.
Because, otherwise it's a big investment. It
is
really
a big investment. Like, and it's something that
you don't want to keep paying every 2 years.
Yeah, I can't see these wearing out or breaking. Like, we've all our you'd get 10 years out of a Pulsar for sure.
That's awesome.
Especially seeing it, upgradable compared to
the technology every 12 months just has a massive leap, because we've got the Talos, from the technology in the Talos to what we've got a Thermion 2 with the XL60 on our rifle, and the technology leap from that in 12 months is just next level again. Like, you can, it's that sort of sensitive. You can tell if a pig's black or white, because they're different.
Yeah, wow.
Like, we've got some videos where you can sort of see the pigs. You can tell it's pitch black, and you can see
tell that it's black and white. Yeah,
just from how the heat's in the pig.
Like, how crazy is that technology can do that? Like, tell you what colour it is. So
That's
you just
insane.
say, you were like, man, I don't want a black one. I want a black and white one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you guys running them during the day? Because that's what I was most blown away.
Yeah.
Like running them first thing in the morning, before the rocks and that. It was actually cool just to see how rocks and certain trees hold heat. That was awesome to see. But yeah, running it during the day is just insane.
Yeah. See, we were I was shooting the other day at the chopper with me. We run all Wedgetail Industries rifles.
Yep.
I've got the Duo 2. What is it? XL60. I've got the XL60 on my Wedgetail Mini, and then
it's a 300 black.
We were using that through the morning and up until probably about 10 o'clock, and that's how we got most of the pigs in the thick crop country. Like, I was just shooting the pigs out of the chopper with the thermal.
During the day, you wouldn't think, but it's phenomenal how much it stands out during the day. Like, especially from distance, because you can look around and with, I don't know, you have to scan a lot more, whereas you look with a thermal and you're looking at less, if that makes sense, because you're only just picking up heat, so you can scan a paddock a lot faster with the thermal. But like, there's really good examples on our Instagram reels of that.
If anyone's sort of interested in what we're talking about, just go back to our Instagram.
Reels.
All our sort of cool things that we do, we sort of just put on there. And the thermal out of the chopper, it's a game changer, because like our mates own the crop and they're just getting wiped out. Like, I'm like sort of everyone else. Like, there's definitely a time and a place for chopper shooting. And I enjoy doing it too. But I can see why people get upset about it.
Oh,
but,
look, for the main part, I've got nothing against chopper culling. It does need to happen. And it's something that I've said to a lot of people. Like, I used to watch a video of Ted Nugent and Brian Quokka, the Pigman, and they're going through Texas and they're just gunning down pigs with pretty much machine guns and semi-automatics and all sorts of stuff.
But they give it there's a lot of them blokes really give it a bad, geez, it looks terrible. Like, they're pumping
10 bullets.
Yeah, they're just pumping bullets out, where me, like, I want instant death. Like, I want to kill that pig instantly. That's the same as everything we do. I get real guilty about anything that I want to. I can shoot more than as anyone, but I still like the pigs, even though I shoot them all the time or whatever. But I don't want that pig to suffer. So I'm always trying to shoot him in the head, or worst case, a heart shot for me. Like, personally, I always try and brain him.
Yeah.
So.
No, I 100% get it, and you need that to feel that feel for the game and not wanting it to suffer.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it's a part of it that needs to happen here in Australia. I'm against some of the deer stuff just because they harass property owners down here for it, and the time of year that they do it, they always choose the rut here in South Australia to do it. Knowing that people are going to be out hunting and, It's ridiculous, but I do get that it's a valuable source for pest control, and it needs to be done
Yeah.
here, America, New Zealand. Hunters aren't going to be able to control the numbers fully. No matter what we say, it is something that needs to be done from time to time.
Yeah.
Because we sort of do the whole spectrum of hunting, like, if that makes sense. Like, we're on the ground, the body, and where we work, and like the place we hunt and work, from the Gulf to the Territory, like, we can keep the numbers at a level where they're not out of control, and that's all you can do. Like, it's the amount of money we put into just keeping them at that level. Like, I don't think you could ever get on top of them truly. Like, it's hard to explain. Like,
Yeah, but no, and saying that, like, with all the culling, I feel like the culling should be like the last.
That should be the last resort. There's that many good hunters.
Allowing access for people to use them, then they've extorted that option, and then they go to that. Like, it should be a last resort, definitely, because especially can understand with pigs, because Dan and I have been boxing pigs for like 15 years. We know how much disease.
2008.
Yeah, the meat's not that valuable, but but deer's
the meat's great quality, and like, we love deer.
Man,
yeah.
Imagine how many families you could feed with all the culling of deer that they do.
Yeah, it's that's one of the things that pops up all the time. We got a pretty big homeless population here in South Australia. You just drive through Adelaide and homeless are everywhere, and it's just like, shit, the amount of good you could do just by, culling those deer, recovering the meat, and feeding the homeless like they do in the States.
I think everyone would be behind it, but everyone would get behind it. It'd be no issue if you weren't just sort of wasting them. Like, pigs, because when there was, I think when we first started boxing pigs, there was an amazing market. Like, we used to call them, you go out and catch a nugget, because like I think a pig over 60 dressed was $1.50 a kilo. So you might, it was great money. And like, we could go out, and if you had a good weekend, you'd get as much as you were doing in the mines, like bloody catching pigs and shooting roos, and
that's why a lot of people would probably see.
And that really keeps the pigs under control. Like, they're not an issue when the box is open. Like, anywhere there's a box, if they've got $1 value on them, they're gone. Like, everybody,
And same with deer. Like, imagine if they put a bounty on for deer, and people can fill their freezers and have the bounty. The bounty would be cheaper than paying aerial culling fees.
Yeah, 100%. When you're saying the box is open, explain, because there's a lot of people like myself down here in South Australia, and other places like Victoria and that probably don't have these programs. What is it, and how does that all operate?
Okay, so me and Nat are both accredited for shooting wild game harvesting, where so you got to go to TAFE. You got to, actually, it's just me that's accredited, but we both live, well, married obviously, but so you got to go and do a TAFE course, and you've got to be trained in humane destruction. You got to go do an accuracy test with your rifles, and it's like a big deal. Go through to your TAFE course, and you got to
how do they handle the meat?
Do a safe food handling course as well.
Yep.
So that's another big thing, and then you got to keep all your bloody records and tag, and like for roos, they've all got to have a tag so they know how many roos are being culled across the state, and it's
you can't just shoot a roo. Like, they only allocate so many tags per species per year, and you have to apply for tags per species, basically.
Yeah, and they do like an aerial survey every year of like all of Queensland. They fly around and count the numbers of roos, and they'll do an estimate, and then I think it's like a very low percentage of tags will be allocated for how many roos are in a certain area, and there's different zones all across Queensland, and a certain number of tags will be allocated for that zone. And it's also like a good thing to note that I don't think the tag quotas have ever been filled. Like, it's just say it's 1 million tags or whatever. I can't really remember everyone ever saying that. Oh, you know, you can't go and shoot roos because the tags are done. You know, it's you could. Don't quote me on that exactly, but that'd be pretty right, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd have to ask the podcast friend Dan. He's a biologist up in Queensland. That's something he would know. So I'll jump on afterwards and send him a message.
Yeah, definitely ask him. But it's a very low number that's harvested versus what the quota is. Like
yeah,
and they do that on purpose. So you're not going to wipe them out, which no one wants to see. All the like myself, I just want to manage that, and it's a good income for my family, and it's like shooting roos is hard work. Like
and
it's great for our family. We all go out together and.
Yeah, but like a box is like.
Oh yeah, and get back to the box. It's just it's a portable cold room. I think they're like 40-foot shipping container with a like a freezer unit on it, and it just pulls the meat down, and every week they get emptied.
But the roos is the biggest thing with boxes, and then it's fluctuated over the years with pigs, but pigs are only a small amount of what the box takes. So it's only certain areas, because I think, would they use pigs for now, just more dog food?
Yeah, pigs is it's not a very good market for them at the moment, because back in the day when it was worth great money, like they were all going over to Russia, and like because Europe would still be our biggest customer for the wild boars, because that's like obviously their delicacy and pastime over there. But they can't harvest them for whatever reason over there, and
I thought it wasn't something to do with like they were buying it from Australia because it was cheap, and then because they were importing it because it was cheaper, then the pig population got out of control in Russia, and then they started opening.
I think they started opening up over there. So it's a lot of political reasons too why it's out. It's not allowed back in there. But like as far as quality goes, like you very rarely would you ever see a sick pig out in the field. Like I think because when you gut them out, you do an inspection. You look at the nuts, you look at the heart, lungs, liver, and then they've also got glands in their neck that you inspect. And if any swelling or anything sort of any discoloration, like you've got to have a good look through them when you gut them out, because they also get checked when they get processed, and they get condemned if there's any issues at all. So it is a really good product. That it's just a shame that the box isn't open all the time, because there'd be anywhere that there's a box running flat out. Pigs aren't an issue, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that we exported wild pork over to Europe, so that was cool to learn.
It used to be massive, absolute massive industry, but now it's just sort of, what do you reckon, the last 5 years it's died now a bit?
Yeah, probably. But I think it stopped, it's since we've had kids, I reckon that it stopped since then, just a lot of political things like I was saying. But Dan and I were together for 8 years before we had kids, and we both worked in the mine, so we had week on, week off, and our whole week off would go to shooting for wild boar and kangaroos for our second job, and we'd do that 2 to 3 nights minimum on our week off.
Hunt flat out, and then it was great. Yeah, cool. We still do it now, but back before we had kids, you could sleep all day and then go again as soon as the sun's ready to go down. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did go to Audi probably mid last year, and they had wild boar salami, and it said product of Australia. So that had me thinking, they must be making some, stuff with the stuff that's collected in the boxes. So that'd be pretty cool to see the market come back with that. You know? What type of things are you looking for? Because that seems to be the biggest issue with pigs in Australia. Cody, I don't think he's ever eaten one off of his property in New South Wales. Especially when they're he's too worried of them feeding on carry on and stuff like that. So, what you're looking for discoloration? Is there anything that will straight away make you go no?
The biggest thing for me is look at like for a boar, it's his testicles. If they're the normal size, because they could have brucellosis, but that's very rare.
But yeah, we still have
And
it.
then-
Still,
yeah.
you do still see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you bloody The next thing I like to really look at is your liver and kidneys. For me personally, like if they've got hydatid or bloody any cysts, or if they've had an infection or whatever, it'll be in their the kidneys will be inflamed, or you can tell straight away.
Yeah, they're not nice and clean and red. You'll see like little pus spots, or little cysts all over them. It won't be like clean. And
and then they got glands in their neck because when you gut them out, you cut their windpipe out, and that's when you pull like their throat through. And then I just have a good look in there, and if they're not inflamed, she's good to go.
sort of what, like lymph nodes, really? But
you like your lymph nodes sort of thing. That's a big one for me. And that's like that just tells you if the pig's had an infection or bloody anything like that.
yeah,
And just a general health. If they're bloody if they're skinny, I'm not putting that in the ute. Like you want a good healthy product, and
like a cow, you want a nice
you
fat
want a good
cow.
fat cow. Like there's been a heap of times where we've shot, or the dogs are called bony arseholed sows, and like the box doesn't want them. They're not a good product. So you just leave them in the paddock.
Are you guys taking any of the pigs home yourself to eat, or?
No, honestly,
We get free beef.
we get beef, mate.
But no, we do.
Good steak around, but you could. There's be no reason why you wouldn't eat.
Nah, well, last year to save more with dog food, because we're like 3 hours one way from a major town for dog food. We actually did a couple of wild boars, and we just minced them up for the dogs.
Yeah.
And and we same thing. We just made sure it was all clean, but we like to mince it up, and ideally the best way is to cook it too. But wild boar meat you don't really have to cook as much.
Yeah, you don't have to cook it, but because we had time, so
yeah. But
and the dogs love it too because we make up a big stew for them, and
rice.
you can put a bit of rice in or do whatever you want to make it go a bit further.
Yeah, we just do it in a cut-off keg. So
they love it. The dogs just
it's a treat.
And you can see the performance difference in them too. Like, because I don't like giving the dogs meat before we're going hunting because like too much meat, it will just be sitting their guts, and then they get hotter quick, and they lose performance. So we still give them the bit meat, and the dogs they do really well on that sort of combination of like meat and dry biscuits. So
That's awesome. Going back to the dogs, what type of breeds are you guys running?
Oh, geez, that.
But
But anything we can get, sort of thing. I don't know. Anything that works. But
our
main breed.
Our old main dog Rocco, he's a Wolfhound Bull Arab, and we've got his son, which is Gidgee, and he's the same. He's a Wolfhound Arab. He's a real big fella. He's probably nearly a little bit too big. He'd be 45 kilos roughly, and so was Rocco. He'd be about 45 kilos working weight, which is a big dog.
Okay.
And then
Chansey, he's Bull Arab.
Chansey's a Brian Neal Bull Arab. He's like a red-nosed Arab fella, and he's about 35 kilos. And which is the perfect size for me. I like a 35 kilo dog because they're not taking up too much room, but they can handle sort of any size pig. And Frank is he's a Stargar
Masters.
Yeah,
he looks like a ridge.
He's a bit of a bitzer, but he's a good dog too. He's about 36 or 37 kilos.
So
and
that's something that's never gone into my mind. Is you're looking at the different like weights of dogs and sizes. So
yeah, definitely, because like Gidgee's a very unique dog. Like that's that 45 kilo dog. He's generally a dog that big doesn't travel well, and they knock up a bit quicker. But he's just he doesn't get hot or
He's still got a lot of stamina.
Yeah, he's got stamina, but like I find like the best weight range would be from 32 to 37 maybe. Yeah, that's what I like. But Gidgee just turned out a fair bit bigger.
That's awesome.
than what we were hoping for. But yeah, and then we've got our like probably our favourite dog is Jed. He's a collie kelpie, and he's definitely the favourite. He's bloody. He listens, and he's just a good smart dog,
That's awesome. And then, you hear another common misconception about hunting dogs. How are they with children? You guys said you guys have kids. How are they with family?
Oh, they're just, I don't know.
They're scared of the kids more than anything.
They're not scared of the kids.
The kids, but they
the kids run the show.
Yeah.
The kids just, the only dog. He's not. There's not one of our dogs. We've never had a savage pig dog, if that makes sense. Like, there's just no one's got any time for that, and that's not in their nature or breeding. But the only thing Chancey would do is whack him with their tail because he's too excited to see him. Like he just wants affection and wants to be with you. But his tail, he's just too excited. And he whacks the kids and
yeah. Well, they're at a good height now.
Yeah.
When the kids
they were little, he would whack them with their tail and hurt them. But that'd be the only. It's only because he wants to play, But as far as aggressive pig dog, that's just a rubbish myth, Like, I don't know one fella that's.
Yeah, never.
I don't think we've ever had.
No,
I can't think of anyone
that's had
any of our mates or anyone sort of we know that had a dog that I wouldn't have around my kids.
And that's the whole, I think it's the dogs that are stuck in the yards that are bored and go stir crazy, that have got nothing to do and have all this energy. And they have nothing to, I suppose they just, go half mental. Whereas our dogs, especially after coming back from hunting, and even when they're not hunting, they're very placid dogs. You let them out, they just laze around in the fun all day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're,
That's it. They've got to be good at home, even though a dog has got to be.
Yeah,
it has to be good in the paddock, but it also has to be good at home because, a lot of the times at home when we're not pigging and doing stuff.
Yeah, 90% of the dog's life is at home, and if they're no good at home, then, that's not what you want. You want something that's going to be easy to have around. And all of our dogs have, we run only male packs purely because, if you introduce a bitch and coming on heat, that's when you do get dramas within the pack and themselves. So we just find it easier just to run all males. And so a lot of friends are the same. They'll be either all bitches or all males. It's just a lot easier, to have a pack, and the pack knows their place and where they're alpha in the pack.
Yeah, we're in control of the pack. They wait for us. We can feed all our fellas together. That's another thing we do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't do it all the time, but when we've got time and we want to train them, I'll feed them all together and make them wait for their dinner, and that's all to do with having what would you call it,
pack mentality.
Yeah, like me being the boss of the pack. And
the alpha.
It goes a long way.
Yes.
Like out in the paddock, because I want that dog to listen to me, especially when we're out pigging. But I don't want to put him in a bad situation. And as you know, it can easily happen. But if he listens, that's probably the most important thing for me personally. Like a dog that listens.
Yeah, speaking of bad situations, what do you do when something goes wrong in the field? A pig cops a dog cops a tusk or something like that. What type of procedures do you have in place for when something like that happens?
So we carry that homeostatic dressing.
But probably the dogs are chest plate's the biggest thing.
Yeah. We run all collars that protect them. It's I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself, but last year I think we got 960 pigs for the year on the ground, and I think we bloody didn't really get anything. But I can't remember the dogs getting a bad injury where they were out for a while.
Yeah, skin rips.
Yeah, just skin rips, but. The best advice I could give to any young fellas is have tampons with you to jam into any sort of arterial wounds. But we've gone to the next level now. We've got in our buggies, quads, utes. We've got hemiostatic dressing, staple guns,
Blood clot.
super clot, buddy. Yeah, we've got every one of our gear's got like a trauma kit basically, and that's enough just to bloody get you out of trouble. Like, yeah, I've never.
Well, it was probably a year, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had one dog and it sort of got like a bit of an artery, but I think it was just because it was hot, it was bleeding more, and we put that super clot in it, and it literally,
instant stop.
Yeah, and we couldn't even staple it because it jammed up the staple, and ever since then we swear by that stuff. Like, even for humans to, when you're traveling in cars, like that super clot stuff is amazing.
Okay, I've never heard of it before. What is it? Is it something that you apply to the wound itself, or is it?
Yeah, just a gel.
Yeah, it's a gel you can buy online, and but like
the vets and stuff.
Vets and that, yeah. But that's a good place to start. But that the next level on that's that hemiostatic dressing. If anyone wants to look that up, because you can just pack that into a wound, and it's like that's what the army uses for gunshots and bloody stab wounds, and like all that good technology. Like that's what I carry with us everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. The amount of
pack the wound and pressure, same as any sort of bloody same as an injury on a human.
Yeah, that's something that you run into a lot. Is like a lot of stalking hunters don't carry first aid kits with them, or they don't carry they might carry a couple of band-aids and maybe a snake bite kit. So it's not where you're using that stuff much more than the regular person when it comes to doing that type of first aid, especially on the dog. So it's interesting to hear about the different methods you guys have when dealing with it, and you hear people say that it's cruel, but like you guys said at the start, the dogs love it. They wouldn't do it if they didn't like it. Dogs are hunters by nature, like we are. So that's awesome. But
even tampons are great. Like for them bad wounds, like tampons are fantastic. You can pack a wound with tampons and staple around it, or stitch around it, just so you can get back to the vet. All that stuff buys you time until you can get to the vet, really. Let the expert sort of take over from there, but most of the time that'll give you enough time to get where you got to go.
Yeah, wow. You mentioned before last year you got 960-ish pigs. You said is that common for you to take that near that 1,000 mark, or is that quite high?
Yeah, we've never got 1,000. Yep. Like I run out of time and energy by the time we got that. Like that's our best year ever. I think the year before we got 920 the year.
Yeah,
and that's all on the ground too. That's not including helicopter or anything like that. I don't count that.
That's crazy. So you are ticking over once you jump in that helicopter. You are ticking over 1,000 pigs a year. So
no, I don't know. I've never counted. Because I don't. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be. Yeah, it's just a job. To be honest.
It's not so much of like an ego thing when it comes to the numbers. What I'm looking at it as is like the conservation side of things and the pest control side of things. Like 2 hunters taken out over that 900 mark is just insane. Because the amount of pigs that you're stopping from taking out that amount. It's not just the 960 you guys are taking out. It's all the pigs that they would have made as well. So. That's right. But
there's blokes doing more than numbers than us. Like it's just
In saying that, with the whole numbers thing, like the pigs are got to be there. Like we're in central Queensland, like their numbers aren't that thick. So you work a lot harder.
Yeah.
But with this, in the station that we work on, like there is phenomenal amount of pigs. You drive past just as many. So, we still have to work for them, but there is, the pigs are going to be there for you to be able to catch them too. I think that's the biggest thing. Even with dogs and stuff, people can say that they're catching so many with their dogs and rifles and all that, but if you're in an area that's hard to catch pigs, you're not going to get that amount of numbers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's definitely a lot more work.
No, that's crazy. If you want pigs to disappear, just take me hunting pigs. They don't show up. They just, you know, I haven't been able to kill a pig in Australia yet. I shot one with a bow last year and unfortunately lost it. But yeah, there's twice I've been up to New South Wales now chasing pigs and they just disappear. Cody was sending me, you know, videos of, you know, 10, 15 pigs on the days of me like heading up there, and as soon as I got up there, they all disappeared. And same thing
You
when
might, you, do you know what it could
Yeah.
be? Like this is we hunt on the moon.
Yep.
Like pigs are really like if we're going to want to go out and look for a big boar, we'll go on the first 5 days leading up to the full moon, and that's generally when we get our best pigs.
Okay.
Like and
Full moon.
yeah, full anywhere around that full moon leading up to it, it's just fantastic pig hunting. But then you've got the opposite when it's new moon or like when it's dark for whatever reason. Like we've had some horrible dry runs where it's been black moon and nothing's moving. Like the pigs sort of like very
They're more,
sensitive to that. Yeah.
sometimes they're more during the day than on the black moon, eh?
Yeah.
But like it's same with like barra fishing. It's all on that almanac, eh? Like as a good hunting and fishing time.
Yeah.
We follow that on Garmin a lot. Like, cause we get
On black moon, the pigs don't move about is what I'm trying to get.
At night, you're saying?
Yeah, at night time. Yeah.
Yeah, they still eat. They still got to eat.
Yeah,
but
They still eat and drink, but they're not as sort of adventurous, I reckon. And then they take more risk because they can see better and bloody. Yeah,
I just thought I was a bad pig.
That's just in my area. It might be different to bloody down south, but yeah, I've like the week before Black Moon, you can go out and get pigs every night, but then on Black Moon, you have a dry run, and it'd be just horrible, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
crazy.
all night for nothing.
Crazy. See, I find like spotlighting foxes and rabbits and hares down here. You know, if there's no moon, it's a fantastic night. But when you have any sort of moon, it's quite difficult down here. But yeah, when it comes to pigs, if I go chasing them, they disappear.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I was the same when I first got into pig hunting. I was going with Dan for a year. And
been 8 months, I think, before we started getting pigs consistently.
Yeah, they called me like Jonah. Yeah. Like I literally wouldn't. I was cursed.
But we were hunting sugarcane, and that's.
And
I don't know if you're familiar with sugarcane, but we were hunting sort of 3 or 4 nights a week, and be lucky if you got one pig a week.
Yeah, wow.
And you'd blow pigs every night. It was just, I'm not sure if it was the dogs we had or I think we might have got smarter or bloody. Yeah, but we were blowing a lot of pigs, and it took us a long time before we sort of got a bit of a roll on with catching pigs in the cane. It was a sharp learning curve. Or I reckon it took 8 months of just failure after failure before we sort of, just finally worked it out enough to where you could go and get one here and there.
So what's your favourite type of terrain to chase them in? Like you said sugarcane and you said creeks and rivers and that before.
Once you go flat, you never go back.
Yeah. Black country, yeah. Like Central Queensland's probably my sort of favourite country to hunt. But then you can't go past the bloody because Northern Territory is just amazing. You know what I mean? Like you can just you've got quality and you can drive to everything and
you can see you can see the pigs, so you get that larger adrenaline rush because you're trying to lap out you see where that biggest one is and you try and predict where it's going and you got to you speed driving rally cart driving to get there and I don't know. Yeah, you get like tunnel vision and, I always find I don't hit anything getting out to a pig, but then coming back to a pig, I'm just like, how did I not crash into that hole or anything like that? But yeah, no, it is good. Like I find that open country, being able to see them big pigs and seeing them just rocking across the flats is just, yeah.
It's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
But then, like, around, Central Queensland, like, you won't get as many pigs, but the pigs you do get are just really, really good quality. And that's sort of, I don't know, I just love catching big boars. That's just my favourite thing by far. Like, it's bloody, especially in big old mature boars. Like it's just, it still excites me to this day. Like, and
Yeah, they get fat on like a buffalo seed. So
yeah, they eat the buffalo, and then there's crop and anywhere sort of like that. Like you might only catch one or two a night, but they'll be really good quality, and that sort of
What do you reckon's the biggest pig you guys have caught, like weight wise?
100, 151.
Yeah.
We've got one that was 151 live weight. Oh, me, you got that one, that barra.
Yeah, but the one with you and Corey and
That was 134 dressed.
Yeah, so but it would have been probably 150.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
And we caught one up the territory that we didn't have scales, but it's on you if you want to have a look. I think it's I can't remember the title on YouTube. It's something like it's just the biggest pig we've caught
As a family,
and it was massive. I reckon it would have been that 150 live weight mark. It looked like a wiener, to be honest. It was that big, and
yeah, we're doing the whole. Is that a cow? Is
that a wiener or a bloody?
Or
yeah.
pig?
And when I grabbed him, like when you grab them big fellas, I'm a
6 foot.
I'm a pretty tall fella, and I can't get my you can't get your hands around their hocks, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, you've got to bloody you just got to hang on for dear life. They're that powerful and big too, especially when there's only two dogs sort of. And that's the big dogs we're talking about. We're on this boar, and they look like little.
Pitties.
Yeah, they look like pitties on the bloody. Yeah,
That's insane.
that's how tall they look.
What type of length?
Good fun.
What type of length are they body wise?
Uh,
Something that big.
Well, I'll give you an example. I'm 6'3", and one night me and my mate went pigging, and I said to Nat, I said, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I caught this boar, and I put my hand down from my hip, and I said he's from his tip of his toe to the top of his back was 100 mil below my hip." And she said, "Oh, why'd you go out and catch a Brumby boar?"
I was calling them Brumby boys.
Yeah, she's calling us like she didn't believe us about
I was teasing her.
how tall and big this pig was. And no word of a lie, the next night me and Nat and my mate went out and got one, and I got a stick and measured it from the top of his back to his hip, and it was 100 mil below the top of my hip, and there was just the tallest, longest pig you've ever seen. And
yeah, that's more territory style though.
yeah, that's territory, but they've got to be hard and tough to survive there. I've never seen a pig as tall as it, you know. But we caught a few that size, but as far as length, I've never really measured the length of them.
No, but like most of the time the dogs are only, I don't know, about halfway along the pig.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
and they're about, I don't know, what did you say, about 600?
Yeah, they're them real big, fellas. Like once you get around that, anything 120 dressed is a massive. Even 100 dressed is a massive pig. You know, like 100 live weight pigs, it's still a good pig. But yeah, once you get 100 dressed, which makes them over 120 live weight, they're great pigs to catch.
Crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't until the box shut down. Like, you know, we used to always talk in
in dress weight,
and
which is gutted out with their heart, liver, and lungs still attached to the pig, so they can inspect them. But like anything around that 100 kilos is a fantastic pig, buddy.
That's awesome. Moving on to getting to the end of the podcast now. Got a few more questions for you. How do you see the public views on hunting and hunters, especially, doing what you guys do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you familiar with Australian Pig Dog and Hunting Association?
Yeah, I've seen posts of them recently. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Ned Makem and Mark and that, they're doing a fantastic job. Sort of speaking for people like us. Like I'm not the best at public speaking, but they've got a way they can articulate our view towards. They can go into the meetings and talk, and they do a fantastic job of actually saying, hey, look, this is a solution to the problem. Let's bloody, like I would say 95% of hunters are great people. Like the hunting community is fantastic. It's only like that little bit, that the minority that makes it bit more difficult for us. But
Yeah.
yeah, they don't think anyone that's a bad poacher doesn't last in the game anyway. Yeah.
No, like I think that I think most people like they're gonna have their view. If they don't like pig hunting, they don't like pig hunting. But I think it's because they're uneducated on what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
You know, that they don't know anything about pigs. They just see the movie Babe is what pigs are, and not that they're actually invasive species that are causing millions of dollars to the agricultural industry. And they're just uneducated in that sense. You know, they're just like, oh, why are you being cruel? I'm just like, well, they're actually an invasive species. Like, do you actually know? And a lot of the times when I have replied to people on social media, they don't end up replying because they obviously didn't realize, you know, that they are a pest and, you know, they're not pets. You know, we're not going around hunting people's pets. You know, we're spending our own time and money to eradicate something that is a ecological disaster to our environment. But I think it slowly is changing, like in what Dan was saying about with Australian Pig Dog Association, like they've been showing, you know, they've done like that, like the, what was it, the Great Pig Hunt? The Great Pig Hunt, yes.
Started counting numbers really correctly last year because they done, I think it was it 5.5 million?
Great Australian Pig Hunt or whatever.
Yeah, I think they done a survey and I think they worked out that hunters in the Australian community got 5.5 million pigs for the 24 calendar year.
That's insane.
And that's
yeah, and like and so like, you know, like a lot of the newspapers publish that, even the Country Life, which is big in Australia. So like they've actually helped to put the image out there to show how well, you know, help change the stigma of pig hunters. That, hey, we're actually out here doing a good thing. You know, like we're actually not that bad. We're actually better than some greeny keyboard warrior.
It's like Paddy says, like, you know, from the ARU, like the mental health benefits, the benefits of having a strong family that's out in the bush hunting together. You know all about it. Like it's just, you know, if things are stressful, as soon as you head out of town, it's just, you know, you can leave that all behind and it's just fantastic. You come back fully recharged. Bloody, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the benefits of hunting and just being out and in the bush is just, it's just, there's nothing like it, eh? I think about it every day, all day. Yeah.
I know the feeling. You've jumped into a couple of the next questions, but I'll ask them anyway. You know, normally I'd ask, how would you change the public views on hunting and hunters? But I personally think what you guys are doing is changing the public views on hunting and hunting. Do you guys feel that you're you know, changing some minds along the way when you're posting up your content?
Oh yeah, the amount of women I've had message me over the years, like it'd say, you know, I'm so glad that you posted hunting with your kids because my husband never used to let me go hunting. But you know, you know, and saying that, like I don't say to Dan he has to take me on every single hunt. You know, obviously he's having time.
I don't like now. I don't like going without the kids and that. To be honest, it's not the same. I just love our adventures and I still like going with mates. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, when we have our family adventures, it's just amazing, eh? Because the kids froth on it and their body.
Yeah, no, that's right. And they've said, like, you know, once their partner's actually taken them out, they've actually really enjoyed it more going as a family than they would just their mates, you know. So, awesome. And like, we just, so I feel good in that sense that, you know, show that, you know, that women, you know, can come hunting with the men and we can all have a great time together, you know.
No, that's so good. And then, you know, final question. This is one for each of you to answer yourselves. What is hunting to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I always say to people, I'm like, hunting is my excuse to be out in the wilderness, like to be out bush. Like I feel like, and that the pig is like the hunted is such a small percentage of the actual hunt, you know, like, and it's just being out you know, exploring new areas. Like we love
journey of it all.
Yeah. Like, and that's a lot of our, you know, our video series is, you know, it's not about the hunt, it's about the journey. And, you know, so I feel like, you know, I can't specifically put it to one thing. It's actually being out there and doing something.
And the highs and the lows of it all. Yeah. Like the amount of, it's not all just.
The emotions, you know, the adrenaline.
Goes to rider, breaking everything, and then the maintenance. And it's like we've been doing maintenance for 3 weeks, fixing everything, getting ready for the year ahead, you know.
Crazy.
And, because we've got 2 cruisers, buggy, quad, trailers, dogs, everything needs maintenance because you ruin it over the year of like full-on pigging. As anyone that sort of hunts all the time would know, you've got to keep your maintenance up or you just end up breaking down. But that's just a part of the journey too. So,
yeah, no, I feel like that's what
the
hunt. And I'll say to my friends, they're like, why do you like hunting so much? And I'm like, well, you know, I hunt pigs, they hunt bargains, you know, the next Kmart bargain, you know, like everyone's hunting something or they're hunting for the next best cafe for, you know, like everyone's looking for something, if you know what I mean? And and ours is just we're out looking for pigs.
Nah, that's
and
awesome.
like I like exploring too. They're the best. That's the best thing. Like, 'cause we're lucky we can hunt a lot of country and well, I still haven't seen it all or been there, and I just love like what's over the next corner. I wonder what's up here. We've got to go and check that out. Got to get over here, and just the whole exploring thing for me is it's fantastic.
No, that's amazing answers.
That's what hunting means to you.
Yeah, that's just it, and just being the family and people I care about. It's amazing. So.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's very similar feeling. That's why that's one of my favorite questions, and people are probably sick of me replying this way, but it's one of my favorite answers because of, you know, how I can connect to the guest on, you know, how they hunt and, you know, why they love hunting. I always pick up a little bit from every guest to, you know, add to why I love hunting, you know. I like the bit, you know, exploring new grounds and searching for what's over the next hill or around the next bend, or because I find myself doing that, especially if I'm hunting a new area. It's just like, oh, if I just go over this next ridge, if I just go around this next bit, you know, if I just go around this creek here, see I'll just go around this next bit, and then you just keep going and pushing. And people just don't get it, you know. It's like you're like, oh, you know, I'll be half an hour, and you go on for 4 hours because you just kept pushing, and you just lose all track of time. So,
yeah, we always say that one more pig, you just keep going.
Yeah, and I personally, still haven't caught the pig I'm looking for yet. So, I've got this boar in my mind that I've dreamt about. You know, I still haven't caught him, so it might be a bit weird.
Keep going.
Keep going till I catch him.
That's awesome. Yeah. See, I've always wanted to bow hunt pigs, and that's like one of the main things that I wanted to bow hunt when I first got into bow hunting. And it's just like, you know, watching all these videos of people shooting big boars in swamps and in the hills and stuff like that. When my pig in my mind just keeps shrinking because now it's not I want to go shoot a big boar, it's I want to shoot any pig that I see, whether it's a sucker or a sow or a pig.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps shrinking in my mind. I'm just like, come on, just any pig will do now.
Yeah, well, especially New South Wales got a lot of pigs.
There's no pigs in South Australia, obviously.
There is. We get a few, especially over the drier years, pushing through from Broken Hill down to the Flinders Ranges. There's been some pushed through there. In the top of the Riverland on the borderland, like on the borders, you get a few, and there used to be good population on Kangaroo Island, but they've pretty much eradicated all pigs off of Kangaroo Island now, as well as deer and feral goats. So it's just, you know, everywhere I go, they just disappear.
Yeah, well, that's what the government wants to do. They want to wipe everything out, so no one's got a reason to have a gun license.
Yeah, there's that
in
too.
my opinion. You know? I reckon that's a sneaky little thing that's happening.
Yeah, but they can't even.
We're just lucky it's so vast. Like mainland Australia is so vast.
Yeah, you're never gonna eradicate everything in Australia.
You've got
When
to
it comes,
manage it, mate. You manage it so it's the least impact.
yeah, and eradication when you can, but just avoid using diseases and baits and stuff like that. All the horrible shit.
Oh,
As I've said.
have you had anything to do with 1080?
I've seen it used. Yeah, I haven't.
It is horrific. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no other word. There's no other words for it. It is absolutely horrific. It's bloody. Yeah,
Should be
I
banned.
just.
If Greenies actually seen what it did, they'd ban it.
But yeah, all your lefty greenies are happy to bait everything. But I'd much rather go out and put a bullet in someone's brain than
And
bloody.
bug it, then ban
Yeah,
it.
it's horrific. Hey, what the
yeah.
and yeah,
There
I
is.
just can't even get over it's a thing. You know?
Yeah, there is some, people against it, especially on that greeny side of things. That chick in Victoria, she's always, against hunting, but she also steps up about baiting and stuff like that, which is good. There's stuff that we can meet
Yeah.
on with some of these people in the middle. When
Yeah.
it,
There's got to be a better form of bait than 1080. There
Yeah.
has to be. Like, there's got to be something better out there.
Oh, it's horrible, and from
Yeah.
my understanding, they're looking at bringing it here into South Australia to use on deer. They've made these special feeders that only deer can access.
Yeah.
They've got like a plate on the ground so that the hooves, sit through it, and it doesn't close up. But if a kangaroo or an emu or something come up on it, it pushes it down and closes the feeder. So,
Yeah.
I don't.
It's horrific. Like, they'll bleed out their eyes and they'll start bleeding from. It's just absolutely horrific. I can only imagine what a deer would go through once it got baited. Bloody.
Yeah, you see it on
Yeah.
New Zealand pages when they do the aerial drops of 1080. It's bloody horrific, but
But
yeah,
then you've got the birds that get it. The bloody it's not a net positive. Like, there's no positivity in it. It's that bad for the environment. Bloody
yeah, no,
yeah.
it's horrible shit, and it's unfortunately when you've got a government like ours, they're going to push that stuff over using hunters with firearms majority of the time,
Yeah.
which is just a very sad thing. And
It's a net positive. Like, every good person should have a rifle. I reckon.
100%. Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. But, on that note, where can people find you on social media? How can people support you through social media so you guys can keep putting out the content that you guys do?
Here you go, Nat. So Nat's the Nat's the bloody one who's all over that. She does all the editing and the bloody
Just on, obviously the basics, just Instagram and Facebook, and we have YouTube channel, and we have a Rumble channel as well, just because YouTube's pretty sensitive these days. But usually I put everything also on our website too, if people want to try and stay up to date with our latest videos, and that's just www.boaringaustralia.com.au.
Awesome stuff. Have you looked at trying to go on X? It seems to be one of the new. Well, it's not new, but it's a hunting friendlier platform and gun friendlier platform these days.
Yeah, now we do have an X account as well, but I just don't know. I've put a couple, 2 or 3 posts on there, but I'm just still working out how to use it.
that might be something. That's something we've got to have.
We've got to figure out
Like, it's a big
YouTube
commitment,
tutorial.
because like most days we'd get 30 or 40 messages across all the platforms, and like we have a really good community and talk to everyone, and
That's awesome.
like it's a full-time job. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. Like, especially by the time like Nat put a new video up on Rumble and YouTube today, so it might have 10 messages, and then we've got Instagram, and then talk to people on Facebook. Like, it's all networking, I guess. But yeah, it's all a good part of it. You talk to a lot of we've met so many interesting people, and you get a lot of good friends out of it.
Yeah,
Too,
a lot of friends through social media.
Yeah, likewise. Most of my friends these days that I chat to have been people that I met through, Instagram, Facebook, the podcast, and it's freaking amazing. Guys that I've hunted in New Zealand with, and America and Mexico. It's all been through social media, which is one of the best things about it, which is a shame when these things get shadow banned because you can't make those connections as easy.
Well, that's where we're at with all our platforms. We're shadow banned on, what would you say is the most shadow banned? Instagram. Oh, YouTube's horrible too. Like you've actually got to type it in, and you've got to look for us. But I don't know. Nat's more of an expert on that.
Nah, crazy stuff.
No.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on. Like I said, it's a few weeks in the making. Trying to make our schedules work. You guys are busy. I've been flat out. It's that time of year. But I really appreciate you guys coming on. I had a great chat, and I've taken, learned a lot, and I've taken a bunch away, which is awesome. And keep doing what you guys are doing, and love it.
Yeah. No,
thank you very much, mate. And
thanks for having us so much.
Nah,
you're doing a good job. Thank you.
Nah, thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our discussions and gained valuable insights into the world of hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. To stay connected with us and never miss out on an update, please be sure to follow us on social media, all at Hunting Connection Podcast. We appreciate your support and would love for you to share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to tag us in your hunting photos on social media and let us know about your experiences. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Together, we continue growing and delivering more captivating episodes for all hunting enthusiasts. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep pursuing your passion for the hunt. Until next time, happy hunting.